Okay, let's do nice and relaxed. Chokuzuki. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ra, shich, hach, kum, jo. Okay, spin power. Ich, ni, san, go, jo. I am it. Relax. Good. Okay, feet together, knees bent. Back straight, slowly, my again. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, look, shich, hach, kum, jo. Okay, spin power. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, look, shich, hach, kum, jo. I am it. Oh, relax, shapeless. Good. Every warm, ready to go. I hope so. So let's start. From here, guys. Make kibirach. Nice, relax kibirach. Okay, left hand out. So connect leg with hip with hand. Just punch Chokuzuki. Ich. And then knee punch. Come, Joe. Guys, quite a few ways to kind of use your hips when we do Chokuzuki. You know, we can vibrate our hips, we can pull, then catapult forward, we can just rotate in. Like 3 basic ways of doing Chokuzuki. This time, just rotate. So have that sense that your leg and hip are driving forward as you punch. Understand? Okay, so we're in kibirach, right? In kibirach, connect that leg, connect that hip, and rotate it. Of course, not too much. Maintain your stance, but connect that push. Push with your hip, rotation with the hip, drive the arm. Okay, let's try it. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, look, cheese, punch, go, jo. Nice. Okay, good. Then, of course, people's flexibility, hip flexibility, etc., ankle flexibility is very different. So some people might be able to rotate the hip a lot, some people not so much. Most important, maintain your stance. Maintain the connection with that driving leg. So I want you to try 10 more times. Chokuzuki in kibirach. Don't over-rotate. Don't destroy your stance. Okay, 10 times. Go. No count. Good job, guys. Then Cecilia from Rio. She's not the only one, but she's the one I saw. Like, of course, sometimes there's a little bit of a wobble within this stance. Then often, you know, we try to maintain the stability in our stance. And we can call this kind of active stillness. We're actively trying to keep our knees still. So classically in Zenkuchi, you know, if I make hand knee, then of course this knee wants to follow because it's connected. So I have a sense of pulling my knee out as I rotate my hips. So it stabilizes my knee. So I pull my hip back, my knee stays still because I'm thinking pushing out. When I go Shomin, of course my knee wants to go out. So I feel like I'm pulling it in order to maintain stability. So I have that ability to maintain that knee position as I rotate my body. I'm not just trying to keep it still, I'm actively keeping it still by feeling pushing it out, feeling pushing it in. This is no different, right? So from here, I'm going to punch with my right hand. Of course, my knee wants to follow. So I'm actively pushing it out to compensate for the pull in with my upper body. So as I punch this way, I'm also feeling my IT band pull out. Of course, this is bad. Too much pressure on your knees. I'm just trying to maintain that stability right way through. Understand? Have we got that? Okay, so leg, hip, hand, this complete rotation. Then rotation back, change. So rotate into kibirach, rotate, rotate. So maintaining stance, drive, maintaining stance, drive, drive. Understand? 6 punches. Rotate, kibirach, rotate back, bom, bom. Rotate, rotate, bom, bom. Okay, 3 punches. Nice and relaxed. Try, give it a go. I will look. Okay, so today, guys, what I want to talk about is about how to use our hips to create movement. So we're going to try this one first, see how we do it, and then we're going to come back to it right at the end. But what for now, I just want you to think about how you're maintaining your sense line, how you're rotating. Are you stepping and then punching afterwards? Are you at any point kind of breaking your line where you're losing your sense like this and then regaining it at the end? I want you to be super mindful of all those points as you go from kibrach to kibrach. Understand?
Sensei, when you're moving, do you use a semicircle mark or do you bring your foot in to move?
Don't worry about your feet. Like direct, so it's not semicircle, and also it's not kind of in to out. Like in things like this, I hate to say what my feet are doing because then people think about their feet. The feet are not in control. So, for example, if I was walking, I wouldn't walk with my feet. Yeah, I wouldn't walk with my feet. Not even in Hartstown. Okay, you do. Okay? However, what you do is you control with your center, and your center moves. You have a sense that your center is going forward, and your feet follow. And that's what is natural, and it's what we should think about in karate. So from here, I'm in kibrach. I'm gonna step round. I'm not thinking arcing round too much, too big. I'm not thinking coming in and going out. It's too small. I want to think direct because that is what my hip is telling my feet to do. So this is in control. Understand?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, let's try speed and power. So 1 count is twist, then back. 1 count, 3 punch. Okay, you're ready. Okay. Itch. 2. From here, everybody make a zengstach. Then we're just going to focus on that control of your front knee. So from here, nice relax, make hand knee, itch, and showman. Then maybe everyone's got a camera in front of them. Maybe you can see your own knee in the sport. Try as much as possible for it not to move. But it's not through willpower. It's through the idea that as you shift your body back and rotate, you actively prevent your knee from coming in by pushing it out. Of course, pushing it out by itself is bad for your knee. But as you push out and rotate your hip, then it maintains stability. And the opposite is true. Come in. So just a couple of times, try. Ham, knee, showman, ham, knee, showman. Once you got that, maybe change stance. Exactly the same, ham, knee, showman. Just try, guys. Get used to that active stillness, actively trying to keep it still. A few people like this, yeah? Then if I'm making zengstach, then of course, this is super important. But equally, this is important. I want to keep my stance dialed in. I want to keep my stance focused onto that point forward. Zenkutsu means weight forward, not weight generally forward, but this sticking out. I want to be mindful of that back leg. So as you rotate, as much as I'm thinking about this knee, I'm also thinking about this knee. If I rotate back, this wants to stick out. So I actively use my inner thigh muscle to pull in. So as much as I'm rotating back, I'm also squeezing with this back leg a lot in order to keep that back knee completely still. Okay? Sorry for revealing my knee in public. But from here, I'm trying to maintain that stability with my back knee by squeezing my inner thigh. Understand? So, next, guys, we are going to, this is keeping our stance still, while keeping our knees still while we're kind of not really moving. Next one, we're going to move. We're going to move in our stance. We're going to go from zengstach to kokutstach. Zengstach to kokutstach. Okay? At the same time, you want to still keep your knees controlled. They're going to move. Certainly, front stance knees and back stance knees are very different. They're going to move, but they're not going to flop about. You want to actively keep them still. Understand? Maybe. Okay, let's try. So from here, make gakuzuki. So first set. From here, just in zengstach, kizamazuki. And then gakuzuki. Then from here, keep your feet still. Kokutstach. Back stance, kizamazuki. And then inner thigh muscle squeeze, boom, gakuzuki again. So zenkutstach, zenkutstach. Kizamazuki, gakuzuki. Hitch. Then kokutstach, zenkutstach. This pull back, drive forward. Hitch. Seven. G. Go. No. Shit. Ha. Go. Go. Ha. yummy. Okay, understand? Ish? Okay, try guys, try right leg forward, left leg forward. But you're going Zen Kusudachi, Kizamazuki, Gakuzuki. Then Kizamazuki in back stance, Gakuzuki in front stance again. Okay, try a couple of times, let me watch. Okay, a few of you, yeah? A few of you are a little bit leaning, a few of your stance are moving. Well, I want to try this one more time. Just watch, guys. So just to kind of break down the movement, don't worry about where you're punching. This is Kihon. You're not punching towards someone. You're just kind of practicing using your body. So don't worry about targets. Of course, Jordan is Jordan, Chudan is Chudan, of course. But don't worry about if you're punching straight or you're punching over there. No difference, right? So, of course, Zensatch, first, very easy, yeah? You're maintaining this correct stance, keeping control of this knee, keeping control of this knee, and pulling back into Gakuzuki and driving forward. All you're doing is extending that. My feet don't move. They will kind of open and then come back, but they're not stepping in any way. So hip comes back, elbow comes back, boom, you've made kokutsudachi, and then boom, driving forward. What is super important in this kokutsudachi is you're maintaining this knee stability. You're not allowing this knee to come back. You're not allowing this knee to go out. You're maintaining this integrity of your stance. Okay, another important thing is about your weight. It's your weight that is shifting backwards, forward, backwards and forwards. So your hips are controlling all your body and therefore controlling movement. So from this point, you know, I've made Zensatch. As I make hand knee, my weight comes back 10, 15%, depending on your flexibility. And then weight forward again. Then one more time, weight back, but even more weight back in kokutsudachi before driving forward again. So it's the shift, 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 shift. Understand? So let's try spin power. 1 count, 4 punches. Kizamazuki, Gakuzuki, front stance. Kizamazuki, Gakuzuki, back stance, front stance. Understand? Thumbs up. A few thumbs up. Thank you. Okay. Okay, yoi. Left leg forward, right hand punch. Okay. 1 count, 4 punches. Itch. Few people. Mimae. I don't know how to say that name. M-I-M-A-E. You're not the only one. Quite a few of you from this kokutsudachi, leaning. Leaning is not shifting your weight. Leaning is just leaning. I want you to shift your weight underneath your stance. So there's no point from here, kind of going 1, 2, 3, knee out maybe a little bit, then 4. Shift all your weight into that hip. Squeeze it in, inner thigh muscle squeeze. So this kokutsudachi, you're completely locking into this stance. This inner thigh muscle is playing a part. Then from here, you're driving back forward again. So make sure above all else, your seichusen, your center line within this practice is really important. Understand? Okay, good. Okay, change leg. Change leg. So, okay, 1 count, 4 punches. Itch. Deep. Son.
Sensei.
Yeah.
What's the Kizamazuki? Do you lean forward? Do you stretch out forward for it?
Am I doing what, sorry?
So the Kizamazuki, the first one, do you need to stretch forward?
Ah, okay.
Or you come.
So, okay, I'll ask. I think I know what you're asking. If I'm not answering, then just ask me again. But yeah, when you're in Zensatch, I pull my hips back. My power is going this way. And so this punch, this Kizamazuki, is always going to be weak. It's not going to be powerful at all. If I wanted to make that punch powerful, then I would have to drive in this way to allow my weight and my shoulder to go forward. That's the practical application of Kizamazuki. But really, like you would never do this anyway. In reality, you would allow your stance to move. Practicing Kihon is that we are very fixed and steady. It's a way of practicing with a high level of repetitions. And you know, you can imagine if every single time you went forward, forward. You know, before you know it, you're touching the ground. So we have to sacrifice the practical application of this technique for the repetition of the technique. And that's a point that we make a lot in karate, yeah? Kihon is repetitions, practice, muscle memory, application is something different. So, for sure, from here, my hip is going back, my hip is going forward, my hip is going a lot forward. We are sacrificing the effectiveness of the Kizamazuki to develop control of our stance. Twitch. Okay?
Interesting.
I have one more question, Sid.
Yes.
Just taking what you explained right now. When you move on Kokusudachi, when you go back on Kokusudachi, I don't know if I misunderstood what you say now then, but you should have the feeling of turn your hips and come back, or just left your waist behind. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's
your hips brings your weight to the back leg, or you just pull it out to the back.
There's two things that I want to practice today. The first thing is stance stability, your knee control, and your ability to maintain this stillness within your stance, this active stillness. The second thing I want to practice is this hip-generated movement. It's your hip that is making you move from side to side or whatever we're doing. So from here, of course, I've made Gakuzuki. Of course, this leg plays a part. This leg is pushing. But I'm not just falling back. I am actively pulling my hip into as I'm actively driving my hip forward to Gakuzuki. So stance is super important. The stability of your stance is super important. But as you get more and more stability in your stance, the greater amount of kind of force that you can apply to your hips. Because if you don't get the stability first, you apply that rotation for your power, you go off balance, or you damage your knee. We have to have that balance. Knee stability and then hip power. Okay? Okay, let's move on. Let's go. So, next one, guys. I realize that some people have a lot of room. Some people have not so much room. So just find your own way. If you got room, great. If you don't, then just change it. But we're going to go 45 degrees. So from here, I want you to make Gakuzuki. So from here, we're going to step, 90 degrees. 45, 90 degrees, we're going to step. We're going to make this stop. And then from here, just drive forward Gakuzuki. So, stop, and then drive Gakuzuki. There's one block, and then two drive. Understand? Easy, right? Easy. If you can do two, do two. If you can do eight, do eight. But just try. Shito Gakuzuki. Shito Gakuzuki. Okay, I'll watch you do. Okay, yeah, man. Good. Good. So, okay, couple of things, guys. Couple of things. We are not stepping. Don't think about your feet. Think about how your hip is driving. Your hip is driving forward each time, this time, and your feet will find a way. Just like when you walk, you don't place your foot where you're going. Your foot just moves forward. So we want karate to be the same naturally. Yeah. So from here, don't think about stepping, but from this point, what I'm doing, inner thigh muscle squeeze, hip rotate, and I'm getting that preparatory motion for shito, basic, whatever you want to do. Okay, and then from here, it's about this leg driving and this hip rotating. Boom! My feet are going to land. Next one, this leg. This has all the power. Inner thigh muscle squeeze, leg drive, hip rotate. This foot will find a way. But from here, just driving in. So this shito stop, and then this leg, boom, driving. As opposed to stepping. Yeah, this is you kind of falling forward. I don't want you to fall forward. I want your hip and your driving leg to drive forward. Okay? Try that one more time. Okay. Guys, any questions about that?
Yes, Sensei, it's Andy. The back foot, do you find that comes forward as you drive in with your Gakuzuki? Is your back foot coming round and forward? That's what I'm finding.
Yeah. Like you can do it that way, right? So I'd hate to be an absolutist about that, but for sure, if you're in back stance and you've squeezed that inner thigh muscle forward and you're driving with that leg, then for sure you'll probably have that heel pivot. Okay, and that's kind of part of the training about developing that inner thigh muscle connection. In reality, if I was here and I'd pitched off, then I'd want to kind of pull that in first and then drive forward. In reality, I wouldn't be going from that point. I'd squeeze the inner thigh muscles first and then drive, which would mean you're pivoting on the ball of your foot. But
like a sprinter starting off.
Sorry?
Like a sprinter starting off.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. But Kihon is about giving you challenges. Can you move fast and well with all these constraints? So once you can move well with these constraints, then you can take the constraints off and you can be much more efficient.
That's,
okay?
Thank you.
Next one, guys. Next one. We're going to a little bit change it up a bit. We'll do one more drill. So from here, again, we're going to do this 45-degree pattern. So first one, punching hand, you're going to block Girambarai. Okay, Girambarai Kibirach. Then rotate and pull back Agyuke. Kokusach. And then one more time driving Girambarai. That's what I got to do. So, Kibirach, Kokutadach, Zenkusach. My feet don't move. My feet don't move, yeah? I am making Kibirach, then just rotate. And then just rotate. Kibirach, Kokutadach, Zenkusach. Girambarai, same hand, Agyuke, then Gakuzuki. Okay? Part of what we're talking about today is about driving from your hip. Okay? Second, of course, is this level of knee control. So when I say knee control, I mean basically your stance. Your stance is from your knees down. Like, you know, if you think about any sort of stance, like from my knees down is basically my stance. And then my legs, my thighs do a lot of moving. So even if I'm in Shizentai, you know, if I'm rotating, this thigh moves, but I try to keep my knee down still. Same with Zenkusach, knees down, stay still, but like my leg, my thigh move a lot, right? So it's about that stance. So when we're in Kibirach, we're not pushing out so much, we're not dropping in, we're kind of keeping those knees down still. Well, of course, we can move our thighs. So the last part that I really want you to think about is from here, is first get that compression. So you're not just stepping, but from here, inner thigh muscle squeeze for that Girambarai preparation. And then you're going to open into stance, but you're maintaining that stability in your stance. Next one, don't just move and block, prepare. Don't let this knee drop, but prepare for Agyuke. Get that good preparation, and then from here, use that maximum compression to block Agyuke. Then last one, you got all that compression, boom, to drive in. So you're trying to compress, expand, compress, expand, expand. Understand? Okay, let's try spin part. So let's start from here. Zenkusach, Gakuzuki. 1 count, 3 techniques. Girambarai, Agyuke, Gakuzuki. Okay, itch. And knee. Sun. Keep. Go. I think what's really important about learning how to keep stability in your stance is that this is your knees, and your knees, of course, are very delicate joints, very easily damaged. So maintaining the natural bend of your knee is probably the most important element of stance. If we start to push our knee out, let it come in, etc., we put a lot of pressure on our knee. Like your knee is a hinge joint. It can only bend this way. And as soon as we start to try to twist it any other way, especially with all our weight on it, then we can start to get this kind of action in our knee, really, really super damaging. Okay, I've got knee problems. Sensei's got knee problems. A lot of people got knee problems because of this, yeah? So we have to be super careful. But at the same time, we have to be able to do this whilst being dynamic, whilst moving quickly. So think about this while we do this. Okay, so from here, just come out. Then I want you to feel like you're telegraphing Gakuzuki. Telegraph Gakuzuki, Kizamazuki. So you're going to go 1, 1, 1, Kizamazuki comes out. Okay, so not Gakuzuki, Kizamazuki, but just this twitch feeling. So it's difficult to do slowly, but Showman feeling, load your hip, but then Kizamazuki comes out. Understand? Ross is keeping away, but look, it's a bit like, okay, it's a little bit like I kind of think, but then Kizamazuki comes out, yeah? I'm trying to not go with my hand. If I go with my hand, I might as well attack. I just want to give him that sense of, oh, Kizamazuki, sorry, Gakuzuki comes out. It's the slightest of twitches. slight so twitches, not my upper body. My kamae basically sees what it is and allows Kizamazuki comes out, yeah? I want you to have that feeling. Also, you can have the same feeling, Kizamazuki. Kizamazuki, then Gakuzuki comes out, yeah? So have that sense of Kizamazuki, Kizamazuki, then Gakuzuki. Understand? Try both. So try both. Try feint Gakuzuki. Not your upper body. Hip, hip, hip Kizamazuki. Or feint, feint, feint Gakuzuki comes out. Try both. Give it a go. Okay, Yame. Okay, good. So I think, like, you know, practicing kumite drills takes a lot of imagination when it's just one person. But certainly this, what I'm trying to get you to do there is have the sense that your hip is moving without your knees, without your knees moving, without your upper body moving. That this and this is in control, where you can move your center without moving your upper body. You can move your center without moving your stance. That it's not kind of connected in one big lump. You understand? Yeah. Okay. Once you get that kind of feeling, then you can start to feint with your core. When in kumite, they're not looking at hands. They're not looking at your feet. They're looking at your center. They will judge from your center. What your center does, they will react to. And if you're feinting Kizamazuki, this Kizamazuki but Gakuzuki comes out, it's much more difficult to deal with, yeah? Because they're looking at this part, your torso, your hip, your center, rather than your hands and your feet. Okay? Okay, good. Okay, like I said, there's one that we started with, that's what we're going to finish with. So really now, think about your center line. Think about your stance, the stability of your stance. Think about how you're transitioning, how you're moving from your core. You're not stepping and punching, but you're just sending your hip in. Understand? Okay, let's try. So, from here, give it a good. So, we'll have 2 counts. First count side step, second count back. Okay, first count is 1 punch, second count is 2 punches. Okay, let's try. Okay. Okay, last time. No count. All the way through. 10 times, guys. 10 times. That's 30 punches. In your time, spin power, Hajime.
Sensei.
Yeah.
Can you explain the difference between compression and torque? Where the energy? I'm not a scientist, I'm afraid.
Dr. Matt Payne is on this call. Should we get him to explain it? Dr. Matthew Payne. Can you explain the difference between compression and torque?
Okay, so compression is a linear action where you push something together. So imagine you've got a big lump of rubber, you're going to squeeze it, and that'll be your compression. When you release it, it'll spring out.
Yes.
Whether it's a bar or a ball or anything, you squeeze it and it bounces back. Let's assume we've got a long oblong or a tube. Now, torque is when you twist it. So you apply it to an opposite forward, or you apply it so it twists. So when you release the tension, it unravels, it unshoot. And so the torque is when you find a twisting effect that unwraps itself, and compression is when you apply it and you let it rebound in a linear fashion. And you can do both at the same time with different muscle groups around a given set of joints.
Nice.
Is that okay?
Fantastic. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Now, do you want the equations?
That is the most succinct explanation you've ever given in your life, and I'm very pleased with it. Thank you very much. Okay, guys. Feet together, hands by your side. Okay. Ready? Pause.